This video is for you if you know that you need to get better at speaking in meetings, on stages, in rooms when it matters, and you're just tired of advice that sounds good but doesn't go deep enough. If you're watching this, hoping that I would tell you how to become a confident public speaker in 30 days, I have to be honest with you. I can't do that. Nobody can. But what I can give you is something more valuable than a shortcut. I can give you the real map. I've been on this journey since 2021, and I'm not here as someone that is fully arrived. I am here as someone who is deep in the work. And honestly, that's why you should listen. So these are the 5 phases I went through, and I guarantee you will see yourself in at least one of them. Phase 1, I like to call awareness. This was the I want to be better phase. My awareness actually started building before I took action. I knew that I was not a bad speaker, but I also knew that I could be so much more. And there's a big difference between those two things. I watched good speakers, I admired them, I wanted that confidence, but I wasn't doing anything about it. And honestly, I lived in this phase longer than I would like to admit. Just watching, just admiring, zero action. Does this sound familiar? This phase is important because most people never leave it. They know that they want to improve. They watch videos, maybe like this one. They admire good, great speakers, but then they don't step in. Awareness is not the same as commitment. My second phase, curiosity plus self-worth. And my second phase was the let me try phase, curiosity. This phase was honestly a bit messy. I started saying yes to opportunities. I would volunteer, I would observe others clearly, but I was still mostly running on talent and vibes. And here's what I learned about that. Raw talent will get you noticed, but it will not sustain you. I wasn't reviewing myself. I wasn't studying structure. I was trying, but I wasn't training. And those two things are not the same. So I will move on to phase 3. And phase 3 for me is the let me train my voice phase. This was my turning point. I joined a voiceover academy. Now I know what you're thinking. Voiceover, what does that have to do with public speaking? And I'll tell you everything, because I realized something that changed how I approach every single presentation. Public speaking is not just confidence, it is technique. I started learning breath control, how to vary my voice, how to pace, how to change my tone, intentional pauses. I started treating my voice like an instrument, not just a tool. And the truth is, before that phase, I was just speaking, but after it, I was controlling. And once you develop awareness, you genuinely cannot go back. Phase 4 was the structure and repetition phase. So this was the phase I decided to commit fully. In 2022, I stopped hovering around and I joined Toastmasters International. For those that don't know, Toastmasters International is a public speaking and leadership club. And this is where my growth accelerated because I realized that growth thrives in structure. At Toastmasters, I was not just speaking, I was getting evaluated. I was learning how to open, how to build a body, how to close strongly. I was doing impromptu speaking every single week. And this is the phase where I stopped relying on my confidence and I started actually building competence. And here's something I want you to write down if you're watching this. Confidence is not magic. Confidence follows competence. When you actually know what you're doing, you stand differently. And phase 5, this is when I became intentional. So I like to call it the refinement and the leadership phase. This is the phase I am in right now. And it looks so different from the others. Now, I am reviewing my own recordings. I am studying other speakers deliberately, The other day, I was watching an MC closely, how she was pacing, how she was speaking, and how she was communicating with authority. This is the phase I am asking. What did not? What would I do differently? I don't just speak to perform anymore. I speak to communicate clearly. And something I did not expect is teaching others, because it's deepening my own skills. Because when you have to explain something to someone else, it helps you understand it on a completely different level. So if there's one thing I would want you to take from this video, it is this: becoming a better speaker is not an event. It is a process. You don't just wake up one day confident. You build awareness, skill, structure, repetition, refinement over years, not weeks. So if you're in phase 1 right now, just aware, not acting, that's okay, but don't stay there. Step in, train, get evaluated, record yourself, and be willing to be uncomfortable. That's discomfort. That is not failure. That is true growth happening. So, I am Kajera Smiley, and this series is going to go deep on public speaking for you. It's going to be practical, it's going to be honest, and there's not going to be any form of fluff. So drop in the comments, what phase are you in right now? I genuinely want to know. And if you're a professional looking to get better for speaking, for presentations, leadership, or just owning the room, this is the channel to subscribe to, because this is just episode 1 and we're just getting started. Cheers!